on the corner. I'm posted on the corner.
Posted on the corner with yours truly, Incognito
and DJ Misses.
DJ Misses. It's an honor to have some Posted on the Corner alumni back in the studio.
Come on, real ones too.
Hey man, they educate our community.
Let's get to it.
Earn your leisure.
Yeah.
Rashad and Troy.
Yeah.
Back Posted on the Corner.
Yeah. What up?
Thank you for having us back. Appreciate it.
Man, welcome back. So I mean, it's a year later.
Yeah, that's a
We
fact.
back in Atlanta getting ready to sell out the Georgia World Congress.
Yes.
They say the third time's a charm.
That's a fact.
And
That's a
Best
fact.
Fest 2023. What makes this one that much more special?
Each year we add different things to it. So like this year we had a podcast. We have a podcast stage. We didn't have that last year. So now we got 3 different stages. We got stage 1, stage 2, and then a podcast stage, which is actually in the vendor marketplace. So the vendor marketplace has become like a very big thing. So we wanted to really, add to that. So last year we added the music to the vendor marketplace. This year we have the music. We got the podcast stage. We'll probably have some surprise performances just in the vendor marketplace. And then the programming, like we got way more programming this year than we had last year. Packed. Both stages are packed for 2 days straight. Everything from AI to crypto to stocks to real estate. Then we got, the biggest names. So, our headliners this year, Diddy, Robert Smith.
Might have heard of him.
But yeah, we got a bunch of other people. We got, Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, Michael Novigrads. We have John Sally. We got our boy Ian Dunlap, our boy 19 Keys.
Steve Stout. Tabitha Brown. Ari Fletcher will be in the building.
Yeah.
Auntie Tab will be there.
And actually, I didn't announce this year. I'm going to announce it tomorrow, but I'll break this. Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Chris Paul going to be there. So it's just like, it's too many people to name. Like, it's too much.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's actually just too much. We had a point now, we had to tell people we just don't have enough room.
Right.
But it's just packed from 8:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. Jeezy performing, Ja Rule performing. Like, it's just crazy. So Jermaine Dupri, we in Atlanta. Jermaine Dupri will be there.
Kenny Burns.
Shout out to KB. So I just feel like, it's just like everything this year, like over the top.
Yeah. That's dope. So can y'all explain to us? I know it had to been a bigger process, stepping up more and more and more. So explain to us how that process was for this year.
Yeah, one of the things we looked at was the landscape of like how much runway do we need to make sure that this is going to be the best presentation as possible. And so we started not too long after last year's event. It was like, all right, that was great, but we're not going to rest on that. And so it was like, all right, what do we want to make sure that we want to have? How can we improve? And so it was like, all right, we can add these things. We can add more programming. Let's make the vendor marketplace even something that's more special. And so part of that was going out to events. And so a lot of people see us and they're saying, hey, you guys are everywhere. And yeah, we are, because we're looking at the landscape and seeing like, hey, can we take that from this event? Like when we went to the Super Bowl, we saw Radio Room. I'm like, oh, wait. This might be a better design for our marketplace, right? We're having the larger vendors on the outside and everybody in the middle. They had a stage inside of it. So it was like, all right, well, we should add that. And so every time we go to a different event, we're looking like, all right, we can add this to ours and make it even better. So that runway was a lot longer, but making sure that we curated the right talent. Right, who's going to have the biggest impact? And so, like you said, some of the things we were excited about, the conversations, right? Like AI is a big thing. Right, we need to have this conversation with our community. Reparations is a conversation that we need to have with our community. So why not bring it to this event and bring it to our community in a way that we know that we can curate it and it can be effective for everybody.
For sure. So also with everything that's been going on with the recent episode, you guys were talking about credit card debt. So how do you feel like younger people should start fixing that immediately? One of the younger people are in here.
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Sure. Well, first you have to be intentional about how to use a credit card, because credit cards are very beneficial tool if used correctly, but it can also be very dangerous if used incorrectly. So I feel like you should only use credit cards for things that you know for a fact you can pay back at the end of the month, and you should pay the card in full at the end of every single month. So, for instance, use it to pay gas for your car, right? Or you're doing little things. You might go to Chipotle. You don't use it to go to a trip to Miami unless you know for a fact you can pay it back. A lot of times people look at credit cards as something that buy now, pay later, like a layaway plan. Problem with that is that the average credit card interest rate right now is 20%. So, and that's average. Some people have higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't have to be a math genius to figure that out. The more you have on your credit card, now you have compounding interest negatively, right? And you might have $10,000 in debt. Before you know it, you $50,000 in debt. Now, you're in a situation where it's extremely hard to get from under that rock. So the best way to, get out of a problem is to never get in a problem. So knowing that, especially like you said, young people, knowing that is important, especially when you're young, because, the decisions that you make when you're young will and can carry over as an adult. Yeah. So I think that that's something that's extremely important. But also, a lot of times you can even put bills on a credit card, automatic. And it could be like cell phone, stuff like that. Like little things where, because you do have to use your credit card, that's part of actually building your credit history. Having a credit card and not using it is not beneficial. They actually eventually probably end up closing your card after a while if they see if it's inactive. Yeah. So you want to use it, but you want to keep your utilization low. Utilization is a very important part of your credit makeup. So having the credit card, keeping the utilization low is a key. And if you're able to do that, then you'll get credit increases over the course of time. And before you know it, you'll have not only good credit, but you'll have a lot of credit available to you. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. Like, I feel like the bank only gives credit to people that don't need it. That's something that, if you really think about it, right? Like, I got $50 million. They're going to give me everything.
The bank going to hand it to you. Hand
but
you whatever
if I got $100 to my name and I really need credit to, because I'm not going to be able to pay it back.
Right.
So knowing that, you got to play the game and really go into understanding how to navigate through it.
Yeah, key thing he said is, like, when you get those cards, and even if you're behind, don't close those cards. Like, a lot of times when we get cards and we're like, the best way, I'm not going to use it anymore, I'm closing it. And closing it hurts your credit, right? Because one of those things we talk about is credit history. And you want to have credit history that has some time on it. And so if you get that card at 18, by the time you're 22, you might be in debt, and then you're like, I'm not using it, closing it. Now that 4 years that you had, that's gone, right? And so the next time you start again, now you got to go back to 1 month. And so creating that credit history is important, but having credit diversity, like you said, like, so you're not just getting one credit card from one enterprise. You're going to look at it like, all right, well, I might start with my mall card or whatever department store. I might get it for that one, and then I might get one that's for gas, and I might get one from my bank. And so now it shows that you have diverse, because really what credit is trustworthiness, right? They're going to be seeing like, all right, how trustworthy are you? Right. How many people trust you, right? So it may be you get your car, and that goes in your credit report, right? And so they're looking at all these things to diversify and say, all right, if they trust them, then we can trust them too, right? And that will help with your interest rate. But don't close your cards. A lot of people do that, and it actually comes back to hurt them.
Come on, get your tickets to InvestFest. Gang. Okay.
Rashad and Troy is posted on the corner with yours truly, Incognito and DJ Misses. InvestFest is back for the third time, August 25th through the 27th.
Period.
2 days of action-packed knowledge. When you guys thought of this InvestFest idea, did you ever think that it supersede over 12,000 people?
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're never really going to anything with a set expectation of like what the future holds, but knew it would be big. It just even the name festival was done intentionally because we want to have a lot of people have conferences and seminars, and there's no disrespect, but that's already been done.
Yeah.
Festival has not been done before until we did it. So that was the whole idea. That's why we have the food trucks. That's why we have the vendor marketplace. That's why we have the performances. That's why we have different things to make it a festival feel, not just, sitting down, just listening to people talking. Exactly. It's a seminar. Want to make it engaging, fun, multiple things happen simultaneously. So, we knew we had a chance to really, revolutionize the space of financial literacy and learning and business, and what we call edutainment, a mix of education and entertainment. So people, gravitated towards it, and then from year 1 to year 2, it just kind of skyrocketed. So now we're just on that path of just continuing to chase history. Yeah,
and people are going back outside. Like, we can see that, right? Most people are going back outside, but they're going back outside for just the entertainment component. So whether it's Rolling Loud, or shout out to my brothers in Broccoli City, or it's Lollapalooza, or Coachella, we see that people are going back out and being a part amongst each other, right, to celebrate entertainment. So it was like, this is a perfect opportunity, right? Like, why not give them a mixture of all those things in one, but they can take something with them that they can actually apply the next day, rather than saying like, yo, that was fun, we got some great pictures, I might have a hangover, right? This is something that you can apply and say like, yo, all right, I found my new partner, I made a new investment, I got a new business idea. Right. Yeah. So it changes the landscape for our community.
When it comes to roll call, what city represents the most?
Atlanta,
Georgia,
number 1. For sure, Atlanta number 1, but New York probably number 2. A lot of people from New York come, so that's where we're from. And it's crazy because I think we actually inflate the ticket prices every year. This was the second year. Last year, the first year and last year, people that I know personally, they were telling me like flights got rerouted, ticket prices went up out of the blue.
Wow.
Like, so I think that definitely has a lot of to do with a lot of people coming from New York. So if you in New York, you better get there early. Cause,
No, for real.
Yeah.
But
and surrounding areas.
Atlanta has always been good to us. That's why we did it in Atlanta. You know, especially we started during COVID. So that was actually one of the reasons why we did it, because it was still open when a lot of places were not open. And, you know, you look at like Atlanta, that's like the mecca of black business and black entrepreneurship and everything that's moving in a progressive manner for black people. So to have this type of event, I think Atlanta's a perfect place to have it. So it's always been a good home for us. We're in Atlanta all the time, and we always get so much love every time we come to Atlanta. So Atlanta is like, you know, home for us.
Yeah, small business, mid-cap business, and even corporate. If you look at a lot of the corporate enterprises that are here in Atlanta, there's a lot of black execs, right? So even when we had our marketplace, it's like 400 businesses. That's not even enough. Like, there's a waiting list for people who are like, how do I get into the marketplace?
Life is all about harmony. Those notes are created by the people you meet and those you love, by your origins, your roots, the place you come from, your home. I mean, it's in every small detail. It's in what you see, you hear, or just what you feel. Each note is differently unique, and it has its own vibe. And when it comes together, it creates an energy, it draws a journey. Like Remy Martin, these notes write your story.
Which tells you what's happening here. It's a beautiful thing, right? We don't see this anywhere else. Like, y'all live here, but like when we travel to like the country, travel the world, Atlanta is a very unique place, especially for the world of entrepreneurship. Like, it's just it just has something about it. And so when you see people that are doing things that inspire you, and you're around that all the time, I mean, think about what that does to this city, but also neighboring cities, right? So like now when we go to Detroit or we go to Memphis, it's like, all right, well, this becomes the blueprint for what can happen. I know we sat down with the mayor of Birmingham like a year and a half ago, and he was like, you know, that's not too far from us. It's a 45-minute plane ride, but this is the blueprint of what can happen when entrepreneurship, business comes together, and it looks like us.
For sure. So Market Monday,
Yeah.
World Tour.
Yeah.
You guys are going to Ghana.
Yeah.
And congratulations on all the other sold out.
Thank you.
Congrats on
I
all of
appreciate
that.
that.
So what is that like that you guys are taking it all over to Africa to spread the word and education?
Yeah, it's dope. You know, Market Mondays is a hit show. Shout out to Ian. And that's actually a cultural phenomenon. People tune in every single Monday and they learn about the stock market, about investing. And, you know, we make jokes. We talk about social commentary. So it's become, it's a brand within itself. And this year, we had the idea to do a world tour. Once again, something that nobody ever did, especially when it comes to financial literacy and business. Nobody
Sold
really
out.
think about that. That's a fact.
That's the key word. Keywords.
So yeah, you know, we mixed it up with some domestic, some international. So LA was the first stop. That was sold out. Then Toronto was so crazy. That sold out so quick we had to add a second show. So that's like what musical artists do, like back-to-back shows. That was the first time we ever did that. So that was a back-to-back show. And the second show sold out quickly too. So Toronto was just crazy. Then we went to London. London is always a good city for us. We sold out London. We actually are going to Chicago in October. We haven't announced that yet, but that's the next stop. And then we're going to end the tour at the end of the year in Ghana. So the Ghana play is crazy because, you know, Ghana specifically, I think, has done the best job as far as any country in Africa as far as welcoming black people all across the diaspora to come. And that time in particular is a very tourist-friendly time. That's when like all of the tourists come at the end of the year, Christmas, New Year's. And they have a big music festival called Afro Future. Shout out to our guys that used to be called Afrochella. They have a variety of different things that's happening towards the end of the year. So everybody comes to Ghana towards the end of the year, and it's just vibes. They party, they have a good time. It's just, you know, good energy, good weather. So we knew that. So we're like, all right, we definitely want to do something on the continent. Ghana probably is the best place to do it. They have the infrastructure. So let's do it in prime time at the end of the year. So December 27th, we're going to Ghana. And the thing about it is, it's a lot of people are actually making a trip from America. So anybody that's even listening to this, I know a lot of people have, been wanting to go to Africa for a long time, or they might have, but they want to reconnect and they want to catch the vibe and they want to feel the energy. Now with social media, we starting to really see the continent in a different light. Not how it was painted to us growing up. Like everybody's starving and there's wars and it's painted now as vibes, Afro beats and everything like that. Now everybody's starting to really connect more with the continent. So this is a great opportunity for you as an American to go and see the world. Like, you know what I mean? See the world, not just party and have fun. That's part of it, but learn about their traditions, see the business opportunities, see some real estate opportunities. Like, there's a lot of things that's happening over there. So it's dope to see, so many people encouraged and so many people coming. And we encourage everybody, you guys come, man.
I gotta be there.
You been there? Have you been there before? You been to Africa?
It's gonna be the perfect time. It shows the power of impact.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you talking about two guys from a small town.
Come on.
In New York, right? And what we stumbled upon was financial education. And started in the classroom, but now it's a global topic, right? And so when we travel to London, we can see how people gravitate toward us in the mission that it's needed. And so that's the main thing is like it's needed. And so who's providing it? And our thing is like not to say like, hey, we know everything that's going on, because every country has different laws and different levels of business. So our thing is like, let's connect with the people that are doing things there to show, number one, that it can be done, but also be aspirational, like what can happen when we work together. And so like that's what the Ghana mission is. We went to Nigeria and it was a similar thing. We had a networking event and people were like, yo, I love the topics. Crypto is something. How do we get real estate? How do we create our own businesses? And it was like, all right, let's connect with the people who are going to be here, because after we leave, right, and that seems to be the thing with Ghana, it was like people gravitate toward it in December, but what happens in March, in April, and May, right? But if we go there with the intent of saying we're going to create businesses that are going to be sustainable, now we're there all year. Now it's just not the year of return or the years of return. And now it's not like just go in December. It's like, no, we're making a conscious effort to be here and have a presence here because we're working together to create businesses that can change the economy there, but also change the world.
For sure. So what is that feeling like to have that impact?
No,
Like, did y'all ever see Earn Your Leisure turning into y'all having a university, y'all going to global? What is that feeling like for the both of you?
That's dope. It's humbling for sure. Like, you go in different places and people tell you that, you helped change their life and you educated them and they made money and different things of that nature. And it's like even going overseas, like in London. First time we went to London, we had 3,000 people outside trying to get in. A venue that held 300 people. And it was freezing. It was February, so it was like 20 degrees outside. But they waited in line. It was just like, wow, that's crazy. Or we go to Toronto and saw it that quick. Even went to Nigeria, like you said, like people like, we need you here. Like, can you build a real physical university here? So it's just like everybody has benefited from it. So it's just like something that's a blessing, really. And to know that it's one thing to reach people domestically, but when you see the impact globally, that's when it's like, all right, this is something that is bigger than we even, could even think about. Yeah,
I think humbling is the word. I mean, it's gratifying to see it happening. I'm happy that it's happening for our people. I'm happy to know that we played a part in it. Some people say that we've led a charge, but we're only as good as the people that we can impact, right? And so if people don't take the information, apply it, execute it, and have results on it, then who are we? So I'm grateful that people actually trusted us with the information and say, all right, I'm going to implement this, and hopefully, they've had positive outcomes. But it's humbling. Like, I don't take it for granted anytime somebody says, like, you changed my life. That's one of those things when people get information and they've made money from it, they feel like they're indebted to you. And so I was telling them, like, the next thing is just like the same way you got the information, go give it to somebody else. That's the best thing you could do for us, right? Just tell the next person to tell the next person. It was like, yo, if we can just get, in the early days, it was like, if we can just one listener a day, think about how far we can go. And so that word of mouth is spread, and now the impact is spread as well. So it's gratifying and humbling at the same time.
That's dope.
Troy and Rashad is here, posted on the corner with yours truly, Incognito and DJ Misses, getting ready for Invest Fest, August 25th and 27th, Georgia World Congress Center in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Now, personally, Troy, when it comes to Invest Fest, what's your personal favorite thing about it?
This year or in general?
Just in general, the festival.
In general, it's seeing everybody come together. We were sitting backstage last year, and SH, Steve Harvey, who's our partner in the event, we were standing there looking at the monitor and kind of looked out at the crowd. And he's like, I've never seen anything like this. I'm like, what you mean? He was like, look at all these black people together. They got notepads out. They got their phones out. They sharing with each other. Everybody's listening. They attentive. Like he's like, I haven't seen these people. They looking like it's church out there. And they here to learn. Like what we have here is something extremely, extremely impressive. And kudos to you guys. And so seeing that, like when we started, it was 3,000 people to see over 14,000 people last year, and now we're expecting 20,000. Like no remnants of anything negative. Everything is positive. Everybody comes in peace, leaves in peace, and they leave with information. It's like that part for me. Seeing little kids sit with their parents, seeing parents, kids introducing their parents to who we are, is dope. This year we're having the opportunity to fly kids down from our community, which I think is incredible. So like we started in our community center with a group of teenagers. And so obviously since we've been doing our leisure, we haven't been back to do it. But we had the opportunity this year to send them down to see what this looks like. Because we come from a very small town, but what we're doing can be aspirational for them. And I want them to see it. So again, it's one of those things, man. It's like watching us come together in the way we are in this moment. I think that's the best thing for me.
That's a beautiful thing. So what else are you guys working on that we can expect?
We are working on more content, you know, for sure, like different types of content. More on the event side for sure. We have a network, so we actually have 7 shows under the imprint right now. Market Mondays is one of those shows. High Level Conversation with 19 Keys is one of those shows. So looking to produce more content for other people. We got a few ideas that we're working on and a few other people that have brought us ideas that are really dope that we should be releasing soon. And we got everything on the network. We got a health show with Mike Rashid. He's like helping somebody lose weight. We got a real estate show. We have an entrepreneurship show, stock show, High Level Conversations, which is kind of everything. Girl CEO, which is a woman-based business show. So it's just, you know, want to just add to the portfolio on the media side, continue to grow as a media company. But yeah, probably do a variety of different things, you know, in the near future for sure.
That's dope. So with everything you guys have going on, how do y'all find balance and peace in y'all life? Because it seems like it's a constant.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we're always on the go. I feel like for me, it's when I'm not on the go, it's being very attentive and being very present in the moments, especially with my wife and my kids. And so when it's earn your leisure time, it's earn your leisure time. And it feels like that's all the time. But making moments and sharing in these moments. And so when we have an opportunity to travel with them, like when we were in Toronto, my kids and my family came out. When we went to Egypt a few years ago, our families came out. And so making sure that they're part of the moments, making sure that they understand what's happening right now, and making sure it feels like it's just dad, right? Like we had an opportunity last night to go to Steph Curry's premiere of his new documentary, Underrated. And it was like, my kid was like, all right, this is great, man, this is great. When we got home, my wife was like, how was it? And he was like, it was okay.
You know how kids be.
I'm like, wait, okay? that was Chef Curry himself. Like, it was okay. I'm thinking he's gonna like tell his friends, but it was like, you know, even that was like, okay, it's cool because it's like I still get to be the dad in the moment. It's not like that's Troy from Earn Your Leisure. So making sure that I'm very present in moments and including them is like one of those things to help me.
That's dope for sure.
Oh man, Invest Fest, August 25th through the 27th. In closing, on a personal scale, man, what's one of your favorite movies, Rashad?
Casino.
Casino. What about you, Troy?
That's my favorite movie of all time is House Party.
For sure, that's a good time. Now, when it comes, if we had to take a road trip and we're playing one album all the way, which one you listening to, bro?
One album all the way for the road trip. You know, I switch albums all the time, but you know, probably my favorite rap album ever is "It Was Written" by Nas.
Yeah, Nas for sure. He got a new project on the way too.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw 50 Cent's gonna be on it too. I saw 50 posted it. So
I think Magic too. He calling it.
Yeah, on Friday it comes out.
That's hard. What about you, Troy?
One album. Nas Illmatic is my favorite album. I'll probably travel with Confessions, Usher.
Come
on.
For sure. Did you guys go see the show yet in Vegas?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I went a few years ago.
Something for the culture, ain't it?
I went twice. Yeah.
So nice you had to see it twice.
Yeah, my wife sat in like the bleachers. I was like, Nah, we was definitely front and center for it.
Okay.
He spared us.
Okay.
Thanks,
Come on
Ush.
now.
Oh man! Also at Invest Fest, you can see Ari Fletcher and our Post on the Corner alumni Jada Wade is going to be there.
Dope.
So make sure you get those tickets.
Jada's
They're
actually
fast.
because she had a scheduling conflict, so she's not gonna be there.
Okay, cool.
But-
In spirit.
In spirit, but that's a fam though. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Jada.
Yeah, big shout out to her. So August 25th through the 27th, Invest Fest, Georgia World Congress Center. Make sure you get those tickets
Right now.
They back to back. We'll catch them again next time too. Troy and Rashad, earn your leisure. Post it on the counter.
Yeah. And shout out to y'all for wearing the merch.
Posted on the corner.